2022 NASCAR Cup Series season came to an end just last month. And though I thought about delaying this by a year to give us a proper top 10 championship list, I decided against that in order to prevent you guys from having no content between the championship recap and whatever the hell I'll put together in 2023. I do have more things than just NASCAR planned, so odds are good you'll find something else on this channel to be intrigued by. And I know my upload times in the off seasons are going to be extremely wonky, but please, just bear with me. I don't exactly have weekly races to recap in those time periods. One last thing before we finally kick off the list is that I finally have a Discord server up and running. You'll be able to interact with me and others who join the server, as well as directly get notified when a video goes up, among various other things. A link to the server will be provided in the description below and in the description of every video I upload from here on out. Just want to make that little announcement for you all. Let's get into the actual video now. Let's face it, you probably saw this coming. I said it before, and I'll say it again. This is the worst championship in the history of the Elimination format. We had such an amazing season to start off the era of the next-gen car, and we rode that momentum from the Daytona 500 all the way to the Martinsville Elimination race that I could gush about and subconsciously repeat myself about the ending of until my face turns blue or the cows come home, whichever comes first. And just when we all thought that the championship race would ride the same heights, it all came crashing down, becoming the worst next-gen car race we've had up to this point. And I'll be shocked if anything can top this for that title. Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, and Ross Chastain had all rightfully earned their spots in the hunt for the title. But Joey Logano, the one driver who didn't deserve his spot in the championship for, ended up not only winning it all, but outright dominated the race. Every time another championship driver got close to being in contention, something went wrong for them. It felt less like a championship race and more like an ordinary race. It didn't feel like there were any major stakes. Only one of the championship drivers was able to run up front, and I don't think that's a good thing for the sport and could end up turning out disastrous if it becomes consistent. And to think this entry could have made it into the top 3! I still can't believe this got taken out of the bottom spot. The big three of Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Martin Truex Jr. won a collective 20 races this season. Busch and Harvick each got 8, and Truex got 4. Joey Logano got 3, including the championship race. While I don't mind upset winners, usually it happens on occasions closer to Kyle Busch in 2015 or Tony Stewart in 2011. 2018 was just not the right way to go about it. If Logano had racked up more wins, the majority of which in the postseason, I still would have called this championship Busch at the end of the day, but at least it wouldn't have been as bad as this. It could have been a much better upset victory, but it just wasn't what we got. Logano got the first race of the round of a done with a win, ran terribly for the rest of the round, then stole the championship race and the title. It took until this year to rank this championship anywhere other than dead last. This one actually took the longest for me to place on the list because of how much I just forgotten about it. Unironically, the only thing I remembered about this championship race was Kyle Busch winning it. I had to look up that Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex Jr. returned to the championship 4, with Truex debuting in the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing after he left the 78 car due to Furniture Racing shutting down, but thankfully, Logano was ejected from the championship hunt that year, as Denny Hamlin took the final spot. This means that 3 of the 4 Joe Gibbs cars made it to the championship 4, with Harvick and a Stewart-Haas racing car being the odd one out. Hamlin won the pole and finished 10th, the last of the championship drivers. Harvick finished in 4th, Truex won Stage 1 and finished in 2nd, and Kyle Busch won Stage 2 and took home the championship. As I previously stated, I had to look all that up. The first year of this format was also my first year watching NASCAR, believe it or not. And it was also a year largely forgotten about. But it wasn't to the same extent as 2019, so I guess that makes it more memorable? In any case, Kevin Harvick was fresh off of a clean slate, this being his first year with Stewart-Haas Racing, and he delivered as well as you'd expect for how his career has gone, dominating the 2014 season and winning the championship. Behind him was winless Ryan Newman, who had somehow managed to get his way in the championship 4. The opportunity was there, and had Kevin Harvick dominated this race while not being in the championship 4, we would have had a winless champion in Ryan Newman, breaking the elimination format in its debut year. That would have been embarrassing for NASCAR. Denny Hamlin finished a respectable 7th in this race, given a valiant run, and wait, Joey Logano was in the championship 4? Huh. Sometimes I like to indulge myself in a healthy dose of what the hell just happened. But whether I like it or not really depends on the circumstances. And I gotta say, this dose was one of my favorites. Larson's championship being 5th on this list wasn't intentional, I swear. After being fired from Chip Ganassi Racing for unintentionally using a racial slur on an iRacing event while COVID was running rampant, Rick Hendrick tapped him to drive the 5 car for the 2021 season and beyond. And that paid off like you wouldn't believe. This was Kyle Larson's big middle finger to the people on the internet who believe that he doesn't deserve to race solely because of the slur, winning 10 races overall and the championship. But in spite of that, the other championship drivers were nothing to sneeze at either. Chase Elliott won the previous championship and was hoping to go back-to-back. Martin Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin both had very solid runs throughout the season, managing to sneak in wins here and there, and either 3 of them or all 4 of them were up front on the final restart. Truex in particular ended up finishing 2nd to Larson, and if it weren't for Larson's quarter panel being bent just right, Truex might have actually taken the championship. But in the end, this was how the championship wound down for the final Gen 6 car season, and I'm happy with the result. 2020, I'm sorry I took you for granted. It's no secret that Chase Elliott is the face of the sport at this point. So seeing him win the championship was the best thing we could have gotten, especially in as trying of a year as this one. If this was a list of the elimination format championships based on how emotionally connected I am to the driver winning the championship, this one would top that list with no contest whatsoever. His fellow championship contenders were Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Denny Hamlin. They ended up finishing the actual race in this order, physically, with Chase Elliott securing the championship, as you already know. If you didn't know that, then how?
But it's a championship with Joey Logano in the championship 4. Why did you rank it 4th?
Logano being there doesn't sour Elliott winning it. The 22's presence is not the important part here. Remember back when we all saw this coming, but still lost our minds? Yeah, me too.
It's another championship with Joey Logano in it. And this one even made the top 3.
Logano being in the championship 4 only matters if he wins it. Though there was poor action of Logano wrecking a fellow championship contender in Carl Edwards, which was the absolute worst way for a career to end, let's be honest. We all still knew in our minds that it was going to be Jimmy Johnson winning the entire thing, and that's what happened at the end of the day. Jimmie Johnson tied the two biggest names in NASCAR's long history with his 7th championship. Logano finished in 4th, and Kyle Busch finished in 6th. As I've already mentioned, Carl Edwards was wrecked by Logano and finished 34th. Despite the sour finish, the history made here overshadows it easily. Can somebody make a movie out of this guy's path to a championship already? This race felt like the final act of a Hollywood movie. Martin Truex Jr.'s career started during the tail end of Dale Earnhardt Incorporated's existence before promptly getting removed from the team. He landed to Michael Waltrip Racing and did reasonably well, pretty on par with his time at DEI. Then Spinagate happened in 2013 and caused the team to fracture. Truex landed at Furniture Road Racing for the 2014 season and beyond. He gradually improved, making it to the 2015 Championship 4. Though he wasn't able to do that again in 2016, that season was better statistically. In 2017, Truex won 4 races in the regular season and won 3 more in the playoffs. And in those playoffs, he only finished outside the top 5 once. He ultimately outdrove Kyle Busch, who finished right behind him in 2nd, and Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski finished 4th and 7th, respectively. Oddly enough, it was actually Kyle Larson who won the stages, despite not being in the championship hunt. But yeah, this is the perfect ending for Martin Truex Jr.'s rise in NASCAR.
Why is Truex's championship number 2?
If you actually watch the video, instead of pausing it every so often to post some comment, you'll find out why it's number 2 and not number 1. A lot of you are probably thinking, no way. No way did I find the season's comeback more satisfying than Chase Elliott's triumph in 2020. No way did I find a better feel-good story than Kyle Larson's victory in 2021. No way did I find a better Defy the Odds championship than Martin Truex Jr.'s tale in 2017. And to that, I say, yes. Yes, I did. You can disagree with me all you want, but this was the single best championship race in the history of the elimination format. Let's start with the 4 contenders. Martin Truex Jr. in the tiny one-car Furniture Road Racing team based out of Colorado managed to get his way into the championship 4. The internet would lose its mind if he squeezed by just far enough to win it all. Kevin Harvick won the previous championship and is vying for back-to-back titles. That hasn't happened since Jimmie Johnson won 5 straight. Jeff Gordon is in his last full-time season, and he's here for the title. Even when facing retirement, he's still at the top of his game. Kyle Busch, who missed the first half of the season due to breaking his leg in the Xfinity Series opening race, but still came back to win 4 races in the regular season to will his way into the playoffs by sheer damn determination. Whoever won the championship would have 100% earned it. All 4 of them had Cinderella-esque feel-good stories. All 4 of them ran up front and were in contention for the entire race. When a last-minute caution came out with 10 laps to go, it was Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick who drove away after the restart. And at the end of the day, it was Kyle Busch putting together the comeback of the decade, winning the race and the championship less than a year after breaking his leg. And so that is going to do it for my personal ranking of all 9 elimination format championships that we've had up to this point. If you disagree with this list, that's fine. You clearly aren't that well established with the last decade or so of NASCAR and need to get your priorities reevaluated. If you enjoyed this video, then leave a like on it and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you'll be notified when a new video is uploaded. Take care, y'all. Ace Delta 12 out.